self-help from total self. Because that's what you're talking about. And when you are tuned into that, you are that. You know that. That's what that sureness is, and that enveloping sense of well-being. Yes.
I have a guru in India I see every once in a while. I'm not preaching anything. I don't want to preach anything because I believe everything is everything. But there's talk of enlightenment.
Enlightenment. It's not like a college degree where once you get it, it's yours forevermore. It is something that you are always reaching for. This concept of enlightenment is about conscious awareness of this high vibration that exists and wanting to tune to it, understanding that it's ever changing, so you must be too. The expanding universe will always be calling you further and further and further.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just the constant change is what makes it so exciting.
So enlightenment in and of itself is something that is never permanently achieved, but it's something that once understood you can ride the river of forevermore.
It's like an endless ocean with a beach ball floating on top that you keep trying to reach, you grab, and it keeps going further away and keeps...
No, it's like grabbing it and loving it and 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 then grabbing something else and loving it and grabbing something else and loving it. In other words, it's not elusive. It's not out of reach. It's attainable. It's achievable. It's livable. It's feelable. Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey everybody, so I'm outside and I'm enjoying the sunset. It's a beautiful evening. You think a thought. 14 to 17 seconds later, another thought like it arises. 14 to 17 seconds after that, another thought like it will come. And so on. And so on. And so on. And that is how a train of thought is built. And like a train in this reality, our trains of thought have momentum. Choose the thought that feels good. Get the momentum going in that direction. When you choose your thoughts based on how they feel, you'll start the momentum in a direction that you prefer. When you focus on what feels good to you.
Alignment trumps everything. One who is in alignment with that broader perspective is more powerful than millions who are not. That's where all of your leverage is. Everything else is just going through motions. That's where all of your leverage is. That's where the divine ideas are received by you. They're always being revealed to you, but you're not always in the receptive mode. So when you take the time to let yourself have a walk in freedom, when you give yourself an opportunity to bask in the beauty of nature, when you get outside and breathe the air that for longer than time has even explained to you, Source has been focusing into the perfection that you now get to taste in your mouth. The perfection of every moment in time is known by the Source within you. And when you allow yourself to take a peek at that, that is the most productive thing that you could ever do. Because now you're tapping into that energy. Now you're in the receptive mode. And now it's known not just by your source energy, but it's now known by you what steps will be most satisfying, which is to say which steps are most productive.
I feel at ease and just really relaxed when I'm in nature. So the sun is setting and it's really beautiful outside. Let's go back a little further. Stress can be very hard on your body and your mind and everyone around you. So it's really important, in my opinion, to take some time to soothe yourself.
So if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would do anything and everything that we could think of doing on a moment-to-moment basis to tap into, to align with that core understanding of goodness. And then we will reflect it everywhere we look.
I am someone that used to suffer with anxiety a lot. Anxiety is the same energy as excitement. excitement plus fear equals anxiety, and excitement is that same energy but without the fear. So that's why it feels good to be excited, but anxiety doesn't feel good because anxiety introduces fear. Fear is something that holds many people in bondage. Looking through the lens of fear at the reality around you will call things into your reality that are fear-based. It can call things into your reality that you fear and cause you to create and experience more experiences that are fearful. So, if you're looking at your reality through the lens of fear, you're going to be seeing things in a completely different way than if you were looking at your reality through, say, the lens of love or through the lens of courage and faith and trust. It all depends on how you are looking at your reality. So choose the lens that you feel best about. Don't let fear hold you down. Fear is something that will stop you from adventuring and stop you from moving forward, because it's only natural, having the human experience, that fear would come up. But fear is not the boss of me, and fear will not control me. And I like to follow what feels good. In contrast, yeah, it pops up, but when it does, I take what I choose from it and leave the rest, moving forward with excitement. Because once you realize that anxiety is the same energy as excitement, only with fear added, you remove the fear and life becomes a completely different thing. Viewing life in a completely different way.
That's what enlightenment is. It's to be in the world and not of it, because you don't suffer anymore. You see that this contrast is here, but you can...
And you don't suffer because you're no longer judging or blaming or pushing against.
Yeah.
You're just accepting it as variety from which you can choose.
So this is possible. This is truly possible, to turn the suffering almost completely, it's gone.
You know, one thing that's really awesome about watching the sunset is after the sun sets, I can look at the stars. If there's one thing that I do know for sure, is that when I take the time to soothe myself and let go of worries and fears and transfer that energy that is excitement, if I can send it out without fear, it feels so much better to me. I have really went from super anxiety to lesser and lesser and lesser anxiety. And now, when anxiety does pop up, I know how to handle it. Soothe yourself. Love yourself. Okay, so the sun has officially gone down. I've watched the stars for a little bit, and I'm gonna head inside. So I'm back inside now. And I just wanted to close up with saying that I hope you all are having a beautiful day or a beautiful night, whatever it is when you see this video. And I hope you enjoyed it. And give me a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you're new, if you want to have further interaction. And I want to thank you all for subscribing who already have. And I just want to thank everybody who took the time to watch this video. And I hope that you give yourself some time to soothe yourself and feel good and just know you're worthy, okay? Because you are. Oh my gosh, the other day I was standing there chatting with someone I had just met and a butterfly landed on their face. That might be something like, what, to some of you, but to me, I love butterflies. And I have this little picture my mom had given me, and I'll show it in here to you guys, and maybe that'll give you an idea of why I love that a butterfly landed on this person's face. It was cool. So yeah, you know, the different synchronicities, butterflies are one of those for me.
Trust in your ability to create the reality that you desire. Know that you're worthy and move forward fearlessly.
It's that soft receptiveness and expectation of things always working out.
Is that when I feel good, it's like I am God, becoming God here, becoming source.
Jerry always wanted to put on the spine of the books, self-help from total self. Because that's what you're talking about. And when you are tuned into that, you are that. You know that. That's what that sureness is, and that enveloping sense of well-being. Yes.
Yeah, I was walking on the path the other day, and I was beating up on myself for not being productive.
Yeah, what could be more productive than alignment? What could be more productive? Let's put those words together. The most productive is always what feels the best. Always, 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 always. What feels the best is the best. And sometimes you say, well, I took some steps and it didn't turn out that well. And we say, well, because you didn't keep feeling the best about it. You second-guessed yourself, or you scolded yourself, or as you started to do on that trail, for just a moment, you felt like you were not being productive. And then you got hold of yourself and you gave yourself permission to like it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess everything's a similar question. In this, I'm just feeling more in alignment and tuned more often, and I want to know more about receiving thoughts from broader perspective, because I have these ideas, I guess, and I don't know necessarily, like, we have spiritual guides. I've researched a lot of alien stuff, and so like that consciousness, and then there's all these other consciousnesses, and then there's source, and I feel like my path began with source and praying to God and to feeling God, and now all of this is like, I don't know if there's boundaries, and then, you know, there's this feeling and
There
sense.
don't need to be any.
I guess there don't.
There don't need to be any,